Hello fellow coders, welcome back to CodeMaster Quest. Today we are swapping our coder hats as we tackle a staircase where every step comes with a cost, and our quest is to reach to the top floor while keeping the cost minimum. So let's get started and find the question description in LeetCode. Here's the problem statement. You are given an integer array cost where cost I is the cost of step number I on a staircase. And once you pay the cost, you can either climb 1 or 2 steps. And you can either start from the step with index 0 or the step with index 1. And at the end, we should return the minimum cost to reach the top of the floor, right? So if we consider the example number 1 and cost array equal to this one, we should return 15 because we can start from step number 1. And once we pay this value, we can go 1 or 2 steps and reach to the top floor. Right, so let's look at the constraint for this question. As you can see, the length of cost array is going to be greater than or equal to 2, and all of the values in the cost array is going to be between these two values, 0 and 99. So let's get back to Visual Studio Code and try to implement this question. First thing first, to solve this question, we need to have the function signature. So let's switch to the browser, make a copy of the function signature, come back to the Visual Studio Code and paste it just right here. And now I want to define a variable to store and memorize the value that you should pay for reaching to the floor number I, right? So let's say var value equal to array, repeating 0, by default it's going to be 0, and count is going to be cost.count plus 1. And based on the question description, you can start from index number 0 and index number 1, right? So we are going to start our for loop from index number 2. So let's say for I in 2 until cost.count plus 1. Then I want to calculate value for this index, and this is going to be minimum between reaching to the floor number I minus 1 and paying the cost for that specific index plus cost I minus 1, and same thing for I minus 2, I minus 2 plus cost I minus 2, right? And at the end, we should return value for index cost.count, right? But to make sure that our implementation is working correctly, let's bring the example from LeetCode. Come back here. Our input array is going to be this one. Let's copy it, come back to the Visual Studio Code, and paste it here. And maybe I can call this function and say print mean cost climbing for this input. Based on the LeetCode, we expect to have 15 as a result of this function, right? So let's come back to the Visual Studio Code and run our Swift file. Swift problem.swift. It's going to be 15, right? So it should be the correct solution. And as the final step, let's submit our solution to LeetCode. Make our code cleaner as always, and hit the submit button. There we go. Here's the solution for this question. Thank you, everyone.